The first time I paddled the Cataracts was probably 1996. In those years, they were doing limited releases. We would do the Kern River Festival and then come down and spin a couple laps on the Cataracts. And that was kind of in the early days of it. I don't know that I can make any sort of correlation as to what it was like in 97 to like what it is now for me. I'm in such a different space, both mentally and physically, and age. I think my mindset back in those days was much more big expedition, international, Himalayas sort of mentality. The idea of going and doing the Cataracts and making that second nature, you can go anywhere in the world and instantly develop such a quicker comfort zone to a river when you're in that kind of shape. At these levels, even when you're in good shape, we're still getting beat down. We're all taking swims.
Scott's swim was brutal. It was the first time anything's happened at triple drop in the last few years that we were running it, and we were doing so many laps. It was becoming a normal thing. I think Aniel and I both had a conversation afterward. We were kind of just feeling like it was almost just like another rapid, when it's absolutely not. Actually seeing that happen really put it into perspective. I'm really glad he's okay. That was heavy.
I would say the single biggest difference between this generation and our generation is their comfort zone. They've taken the comfort zone to a whole nother level, to where they're just comfortable in such a more radical environment than even what we were.
The Kern's my home. It's my favorite river in the entire world. And I know that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but this is, in my opinion, the most special place in the world. The community here is unbelievable. The whitewater is unbelievable. And when it's good, in a year like it is this year, it's just the best place to be. This last week has been awesome, you know. Paddling with Scott on my home river for the first time was special. Also having Aniel here, he hasn't been here before to paddle the Cataracts, so I was showing two of my favorite humans down my favorite river, and that was incredibly special.
So I met Scott back in 2016. I always heard about Scott, and some of the expeditions he's done are the biggest ever done in kayaking, and it's a person I look up to, always getting to know the person behind and actually getting to call him a friend. It's really nice. It's a pleasure getting to share some strokes with him.
It's been really fun watching both Aniel and Evan. You know, Aniel prior to Evan, and watching just how in the course of like 3 or 4 years just turn the whole thing upside down in both genres, really, in the waterfall game and in the big water game. Evan's evolution pre-Cataracts 2017, and then you look at his performance at North Fork. The kid's growth like went through the roof.
On my first day on the Kern, I was definitely scared. It's a lot of new rapids. It's a river that has a lot of gradient, so having Evan showing us the lines was really good.
The feel is interesting to me. I actually really like the vibe in there. You know, I was a little bit worried because it's kind of got this ominous sort of river color. It has a very similar vibe to a miniature Indus. Don't get me wrong, it's super powerful and super dangerous. As far as like training grounds are concerned, wow. That sort of repetition in that sort of environment, there's very few things out there that have the kind of push and power that that place has. I'm not able to travel as much as I was when I was in my 20s and 30s. To be able to stay in kayaking shape and not have to go far and wide is an asset, and it's unbelievable where you can actually take your paddling when you have something like that in your backyard.
I just want to go back.
I think we are living a pretty epic moment in kayaking. There's new tricks being done, bigger rivers being run at higher flows. I am happy to be part of that progression and to be able to push my sport and, you know, to leave a little bit of my print.
I'm not really trying to run it higher. I'm just trying to do it with style and grace now and really push the sport in that aspect. I think that's where the sport needs to go. That way, when there is another opportunity to push another river to its max, that we're ready to go. The Kern is what made me who I am. It's what propelled me to, I think, where I am now and was able to enable me to keep going. And it's so special having that be my home river. It's really pushed me and pushed my limits, and I'm excited to see where it keeps going.
I think progression for me means getting out of my comfort zone. It's about creating an idea in your mind and putting that idea to reality. It's about dreaming and about not being content with the way things are and always striving for more. And we are lucky that we are on a time where we have better kayaks, we have better gear, and the skills have evolved over these years. And obviously the progression is due to the ones that came before us. So our duty now is to keep pushing the sport.
You look back and we were running triple drop back in the 90s. We're running all these rapids. We're just not doing it with the same style and technique, and that is the game changer. That to me is the true progression in the sport.